Welcome to the Energy On show and the world where everything revolves around your energy. My name is Cornelia Kavan, and I'm sharing my business energy hacks and like to show you how you can manage your energy. And on top of that, I also invite fascinating people who show how they work with their energy. And today, I have the honor to have as a very special guest the sparkling Dame Tessy Antony de Nassau as a guest on the Energy On show. Welcome, Tessy.
Hi, Cornelia. It's so wonderful to be here with you and share some energy together.
Yes, let's increase energy, right? And I'm quite sure most people know you. But of course, I want to, also shed a lot of energy and light on all the achievements you already, reached so far. And we all know that you're a very social entrepreneur. You have numerous charities up and running and initiated. And you're doing so many, really positive things to change the world. And I think we really need to, shed more light on this. And on your background, many people know that you had like your military education, which is shaped your life and made you to the wonderful person you are today. And you're also a trauma psychologist, and you also have your own podcast, Zoom O'Clock. And just listen to this really wonderful interview with Greg Mandela, right? And it was really very candid and heartwarming, and I really loved it. So, and there were many to follow as well. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, the podcast it was so powerful, and it was so important because it's Black History Month in the US. When we were recording the podcast, it was Black History Month. And he, as the first grandchild of Nelson Mandela, the leader and really icon when it comes to, liberation and freedom and, just respecting people for who they are, not the color of their skin. It was just such an honor to have him. And he's just such an incredible human being. And yeah, it was really an honor for me as well to have him. And I'm glad you liked it. Thank you so much.
Yes, I can only recommend to. I will put the link in the show notes so people can catch up on this really powerful interview.
Thank you.
But today, I know you're quite for some time now, and I'm always, for me, you're really kind of a little bit like a diamond, because every time you look at a diamond from a different angle, you see different facets. And it's the same with you. You always come up with other new ideas, how you can change the world and where you can make it a better place. And one facet I would like to talk with you today is that you're doing an education right now. And I was really thrilled when I heard about it, and because you were making a PhD at the Integrative Medicine with the Quantum University in the US. And so, Tessy, just take us back, in this moment. Why did you decide to sign up for this program? What do you expect to learn?
So, why I decided to do the program was because, yes, I do a lot of things and people are inspired with what I do. I create companies, manage companies and so on. And I work with thousands of people around the world all the time. But at the end of the day, I'm a human as well. And behind closed doors, we don't always know what people are going through, right? And that goes well with the saying, don't judge a book by its cover. So I show what I want to show, but behind the scenes, I was really struggling with my divorce, and I had a huge burnout. So I was, of course, divorce is not nice for anyone. And mine was really publicly displayed by the media. And I was really shamed. And it was really hard for me, because I'm a very positive person, as you say, and being so put down and judged by people who don't even know me was really hard for me to learn. And my body didn't take it very well. And so I had a huge burnout, couldn't walk, speak, eat properly. It's very anxious, couldn't be in a restaurant anymore, couldn't drive my car. It was really holding me back from what I wanted to do in life, right? Live life. And I have 2 young children at the time that I needed to take care of. And, being the bread bearer of these 2 children, there was a lot of pressure on me. And as such, I seeked a lot of advice from a lot of doctors from all around the world. That is also a plus when you have a great network. But when you then see all these fantastic doctors, and they're really all very competent, and I really appreciate the support they were giving me at the time. But I realized very fast that chemical treatment, such as antidepressants or anything allopathic, which is traditional medicine that we are in use of in the West, by going to the doctor, puts you on medicine, and then everything will go well. Didn't work out for me. I didn't feel good with the medication. And I felt like putting a plaster on a bleeding aorta, right? Wound. And I just thought, we can change the plasters, but the bleeding will not stop. There's something really deep and underlining inside me that triggers these emotions and these very strong physical reactions of the burnout. And I just need to take the time to look deeper, right? Because I think also nowadays, people want to have everything fast. Everything needs to be fast and quick, and medication is the quickest, and you will feel better very, very much faster. But it's just really kind of like ignoring what the real problem is and just putting a stop to it, putting a cover on the pot, right? And so I was Googling, and I spoke to a friend, Laura Holland from UK. And I haven't spoken to her for so long. And that again shows, how the universe really sends you people for all kinds of reasons when you need them, right? Some come to teach you a lesson, some come to give you support. And she talked about the PhD in Integrative Medicine that she was just about to finish. I was like, that's interesting. And I looked into it, and I then signed up. I was like, this is great. Because even if I don't work in the field after, I don't know yet, right? I'm not done yet with the PhD. But whatever happens, I will have learned something very important about my body. And we always gonna get sick if we want it or not. And as a mom of 4, I just thought it's a really good skill to have. And so I decided to do the PhD because of my own personal reasons. And it has been an incredible path so far. I have learned so much. I've met amazing people, and I could really implement what I have learned into my daily life, but also in the lives of my children and my husband, which is fantastic.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing where you got started. And I can feel you. The divorce is something that really kind of leaves a wound, and you just need to look into it. And I think that's also the same with energy management or energy healing. Did you always try to look for the cause? What's still there? What is causing all the symptoms? And if you remove that or you heal it, then of course also the symptoms go away. But it's not always a quick fix, as you're saying. Sometimes
it took me years. It took me years. And I remember my girlfriend telling me, Anna in the UK, when she saw me, and she had it before, and she was like, oh, Tessy, you're having a burnout. And I was like, no. And she's like, yeah, you do. And I was like, I'm going to be fine. I just need to sleep for a weekend, right? I was in denial, complete denial what was happening to me. And I said, no, I have so much work and everything. I can't be sick. So I will just take a weekend off and I'm going to be fine. And she was like, no, Tessy, this takes a long time to fix if you really want to fix it. Otherwise, it will come back and back and back. And that is also the feedback I give to my girlfriends when I see it. And also the first reaction always is denial. No, I'm going to be fine. No, this is not happening to me. No. And then after they slowly come back to me and they say, yeah, I was feeling better. And then it comes back. And then I feel better. And then it comes back. And you're getting tired kind of like of these loops where you just like, there needs to be something else to make this go away, right? And that is eventually then what needs to happen, right?
The thing is really that, as you said, sometimes just a good night's or a weekend's good sleep doesn't solve it, because also energy is very, very complex. It's not only the physical energy, but we also have like the mental and emotional and also the spiritual energy. And yeah, then you need to work on all these levels to really get, you know, your full energy back. Yeah. And, you know, and in order or due to your PhD or your program, you also, you know, did a 10 weeks little program. No, it was not that little. You did a 10 weeks program last year, and I had the chance to participate in. And so in a way,
thank you for believing in me.
I always believe in you. And what I really, you know, enjoyed, because we had these 10 modules, right? Starting from mindfulness and loving kindness. You also spoke about sleep, yeah, because it's very, very important. And also we had some breathing exercises. So yeah, it was really kind of very holistic, yeah. And I was just wondering, you know, because what I really loved was that you always tried to combine the topic with a really kind of technological approach. Yeah, you always had like all these different gadgets and features for you know, the Aura Ring for better sleep, or so you put a lot of research in it. And I really love this approach of technology and, yeah, something also this energy work, and because it's really something that's yeah, I love as well. So how did you find all these gadgets? And
so well, as I said, you know, for my burnout, I just needed to find alternatives. And as such, the gadgets that I was presenting in a bite-sized 10 weeks program was something I accumulated over 4 years. Of research, of trying, of speaking to people, of buying, you know, because some gadgets are expensive, trying them out, seeing if they work for me, because not every gadget works for you, right? If it is the Muse headband, if it is the Aura Ring, you know, whatever it is that I was presenting, it's really important to just try it out for yourself. But yes, you know, I really wanted to highlight that we're living in the 21st century. And there is so much out there, right? Because meditation is great, and there's these meditations apps that I use as well, right? And I think they're very useful. But technology has advanced so much, and during the pandemic specifically, as mental health really was also set on the top agenda of our leaders in parliament, and policies were adjusted, you know, and the Home Office was very much connected to the conversation of mindfulness, right? And going back to the office as well, right, to your well-being and how you feel about that. And as such, you know, we really had the opportunity actually as a group to explore all of these new found technologies that are literally there to serve us, to make us feel better. And so yeah, I thought it would be cool to use them. So how I set up the class, right, it was really theory. So what traditionally was said about it, what do we need to know about it? And then what are the experts saying about it? Because I made clear in my course as well that I'm just a student, and the course that I was doing was part of my PhD practical work that I needed to do. And at last, some practical work with meditation and breathing work and other things. So I think the combination of all of them together was so important, because it's, as you said, you know, it gives a holistic view on these topics in an hour and a half of that is what you need to know. But I always made sure that you and the other candidates who joined me in that adventure for these 10 weeks, that this is just the beginning of research, and it's evolving so fast. And I'm learning as well day and day, and I have found new tools already. I could do another class on everything I have found. And it's important to keep looking and keep being curious and keep trying and keep talking to people. But I think I tried it to be really as impactful as possible for the candidates, because you gave me your time. You believed in me. It was part of my student work, right? And 10 weeks, once a week for an hour and a half is a lot of time, right? It's a lot of commitment to come and show up and be there for me and my course, right? You were not paid. You came in your own means. And as such, I think with the energy, right, it's really, I wanted you to get the most out of it. And that is why I did it the way I did, with the tools and the research I have included.
Yeah, I think it's you see it from your perspective, but of course I see this from the perspective as a participant, and in these 1.5 hours I learned so much. Thank you for that. And yeah, you shared so much of your expertise, what you learned, and also these tools, and also your energy, and we all could feel it, and that's why we all showed up.
It was very personal. It was very personal, to be honest, because all of these topics, you know, I learned so much within the research as well, but then presenting it to you and actually teaching you on it, what I have learned, was very emotional at times for me. Like after, I was really, you know, I was very, you know, sometimes I was sad because I unlocked things that I forgot about, or, you know, it was really, it was also a very big energy release for me to just also speak about these things and come out kind of with some of my struggles and how I have worked around it. So it was kind of like also a therapy session for me, which and also for the participants, right? You shared with me so much as well, which it was a total exchange of energy, and it was a very vulnerable space, which I created in a very safe way, right? You can still look at the videos as well on YouTube. They are still available, and they are still being watched by people from all around the world, which is amazing. I get messages all the time. So I think there is something there that is needed for all of us to learn in these classes, I think.
Yes, well, thank you so much. Yeah, I think I watched lately, I looked one up, and then I found it on YouTube, so I can also put the link here. And because you said you did one of the drivers to do this program was also to have some tools for yourself, but also for your family. So could you kind of share with us your top 3 tools or learnings you really kind of applied, and what they changed?
So the Aura ring, I wear it. Here it is. It's just amazing. Now it does as well period tracking and everything. And it just really tells me kind of like, even though, you know, you feel a certain way in your head, but your body sometimes feels different, but you're not connected to your body because there's so much distraction, right? That you just keep going, but you're ignoring what is happening under your head, right? And the Aura ring reminds you of that. So sometimes I think I slept amazing, and I look at the Aura ring and it says, you need to take a break. I'm like, okay. So it kind of like brings the head and the heart together, which I think is really nice. Then the meditation devices. So I use that headset. I don't know the name. It doesn't come up to my head now, but it's on my desk, and I really like it because it uses subconscious voice in the back. It uses the voice of the narrator, and it has a light therapy, which does your eyes and your ears. So you really completely immersed into the experience. And I really like it. And after, I feel quite refreshed. So that one, and I hope that my children will use it as well. That's why I bought it. It's quite expensive. And the monthly subscription is also quite expensive. I think it's like $29.5 or something, which I think is a lot of money. And I find it a bit sad that they charge so much for something which should be available to everyone at an affordable price, right? But I bought it and I committed to it because I hope that my children will eventually also like doing it. I'm still working with them on it. You know, teenagers, they're not always so keen on meditation because it seems like something that's the stereotype in society is like, oh, this is for softies, right? We don't talk about emotions and stuff. And teenagers, they want to be cool and they have other things to do, and they say, I feel great, but they would never think about it in a preventative way, right? Like, as I said in the course, we go to the gym all the time, right? When we go to the gym, we are proud to tell our friends in meetings or at home, oh my God, I am so tired because I went to the gym and I kicked my butt and I was sweating. And, you know, people are like, wow, you're a beast, right? You're so strong and you're so amazing, no? But if you would then...
Taking care of your body, yes.
Yeah, exactly. But your brain is so important, right? So if you would say, well, I went to the psychologist once a week or once a month even, just to kind of like vent and get this clutter out and unpressurize my head, which is what you do with sports as well, right? With the adrenaline and everything, the oxytocin that you're creating, you're kind of like releasing that excess energy. And you have that excess energy in your brain as well, right? And as such, if you would do that then and say, I go to the psychologist, people are straight away like, are you okay? Oh, is something wrong with you? Or, you know, they chat behind your back. They're like, oh, I think she's not doing so well. Maybe she's going into depression or something like that. I had all of that. And so I'm a very big advocate to speak up about these, you know, weird stereotypes. They're actually the same, but people don't, the perception is different. And I want to change that perception. And that's why I talk openly about it. And also to my children, I tell them, you know, when I was your age, I was fit. I had no problems with anxiety and things like that, right? There was no terms like that. And then it happened to me. Boom. In a meeting with Rockefeller, I felt so bad. Right. And I felt bad because that meeting I was looking forward for months, and it's so hard to get that person that was there with me into the room with me. Right. I was working so hard for that meeting. And then I felt so bad that I needed to go. I said to her, I'm sorry, I'm feeling really not well. I need to go. And she's like, no problem. And I was angry at myself. But then I you know, learning about it, I realized it was always there. It was coming and going, but I ignored it. So that is number 2. So the meditation part. And then, you know, one thing I still need to work on myself is really the journaling. I do it when I feel really angry or when I feel like I have a lot happening. Then I do the journaling. But I actually as well need to, you know, walk the talk and do the journaling, because I think in the course I did it like all of the participants, and it was so good to me, you know, just reconnecting and what has happened during the day and just getting it out in the morning, first thing, just like a diarrhea of words, whatever it is. And it felt so good, you know, like a clean slate every morning. And I really need to do that as well. I am not perfect in that, and I really need to do that. And I tell myself every day, I need to do it. And then the baby wakes up, you know, and all of these things. And then the day has already started without me being ready. So I don't find the time, but I think I need to be a little bit more diligent, which means maybe to wake up a bit earlier in the morning.
Yeah, it's always a trade-off, because you also need your sleep. So then you
Yeah.
need to go to bed earlier, right? So.
And I love sleeping. Oh, I'm such a sleepyhead. I love it. As soon as I feel that blanket, oh, it's the most, I'm already in the morning after some meetings. I'm so excited just for that feeling in the evening of laying in bed with my blanket. And I still have the breastfeeding pillow with me, which my husband calls my second boyfriend. And I wrap it around me, and I'm just like, oh, this is so nice. So yeah, I love sleeping. I rather do that than go party. Like just being in bed and just enjoying that feeling of pure relaxation and safety. It's so nice. So yeah, I am a sleepyhead, but I need to organize myself a little bit better to also take care of everything, because when you sleep as well, it's important, but you're also pushing away the reconnection to your body that your body is seeking, right? To connect through meditation or journaling or something like that. Because the sleeping is good for your physical health and also mental, but I think they all go together. And so as such, I think logistics and organizing yourself right is really the key to really break through and get that proper routine. So I need to work on that.
Yeah, I think that's good to hear. And we all know that there's always
We're not perfect, right? No one is
for
perfect.
improvement. I think, as you said, we are all humans, right? And but it's good to be inspired by others, and I think that's why we are also here, you know, to show, okay, you can do, you know, even pointing out you can do that, and that not everything is right for everybody, as you said at the beginning. Yeah, and thank you so much for sharing, you know, these your 3 powerful tools, because I think with teenagers I had the same experience, and I always tell them, you know, your body is really, it's your engine, and even if it's now like a Ferrari, you need to think long term, because it's your engine for the next 100 years, so let's say, and you better start taking care of it right now, and not like in 30 years. You still can do it, it's important, but the earlier you really, you know, look into it and what you eat and what you do, then the better.
Absolutely. So the headband I use, one is Muse headband, but the other one I use with the light and the ears and the subconscious voice and the narrator, it's called Brain Tap. There it is.
Ah, Painter. Yes. Yeah. And now I remember you mentioned it. Yeah. And I also mentioned this. I remember that you mentioned this. I really loved. I still haven't bought it yet, but it's on my list. And this is this calendar. This wonderful calendar where you tick off every day.
Ah, yes, my life in weeks, the 4K calendar. Yes,
Yeah.
it's on my door there. Yes. It's insane, huh? If you look at when you fill in these boxes, it just makes you realize how small life is. Let me take the blur away and show you.
Because I found it so powerful as
People
well
to
when you showed it.
It is really insane. Let me show you. Wait, there. So you have here.
Wow.
That's my husband, and this is 50 years of his life, and that's the other 50 coming. But it is not much if you look at it really, right? It's insane. And you look at these weeks passing and passing, and the things, the cases, the boxes that you're filling in with the black ink, and you're just like, wow, time is running. So if you look at the paper in itself, my husband is already halfway through the paper, right? And I'm not far behind. And it's just like, wow, it really puts into perspective how precious time really is. Yeah, amazing calendar. I would recommend it to everyone because it makes it so visual to you, because we all know, right? Okay, I'm 50 or whatever, and you live to 80, 90 or 100, but then seeing it really makes it, something clicks in your mind and you're just like, this is insane.
Yes, that's what I felt the same when you showed it to us during the program. And I think it's also, on one side, it's the time you're seeing, but on the other side, I think it's also a very important reminder how much you already achieved in your life, because we always tend kind of to look into the future. I still need to do this and this and this, and you kind of forget that you already did so much, and whatever you did, it made it to all these boxes, and so it's also part of you, and that's what I also love about this calendar. So it's definitely on my list, and my birthday is coming up, so, and my daughters asked me, so this is a perfect gift. I will ask them.
Well, if you don't get that, you tell me and I bring it.
Oh, thank you, that's so kind. And can you just say the name once again of this?
It's called the 4K weeks.
4K weeks. Okay.
There's a little barcode. I will send it to you later. I will scan it, and then probably it will bring me to a website. So I send it to you after.
Okay, I can put it.
Yeah,
I can put it there.
Scan their calendars.
Yes. And you also mentioned that many things changed since you started your program. And can you share? You already shared some of the stories, but what was really the key thing that is completely different now?
Personally, for me, it was just, I was so vulnerable, and I was so open, and I was really going all in with that program as a person, but also as an academic and as a businesswoman, right, and mother. That for me, I was terrified before each class. I was sweating like crazy, right? Because I wanted to do you good and do what I needed to do. The dog is there. And yeah, I think my biggest learning and my biggest change of that is that I'm much more confident with myself. I'm more confident in really believing in, as you said before, right, in my past and in the knowledge I have acquired. I have done stuff. I have seen stuff. And I am qualified to share this with other people. And I think that was one of my biggest key takeaways, where I was just like, I took it all for granted. I was 6 years in the military, was in a war zone, was the youngest NATO representative at 25, did so many things as the only woman, worked with multi corporates around the world as director for huge regions and everything. And then I was just like looking back, I was like, wow, I did that, right? And that course really made me realize people always like, you're so inspiring. And I never really connected to that. I was always like, this is so sweet and I'm so humbled. But after this course, I was like, I did. It just created that realization where I'm like, wow, my body. And I looked myself in the mirror all the time now where I'm just like, this is amazing. You know, you are amazing to my body. You carried me. You were always there. You were glowing, right? Because I could also look very different with all the experiences I had in my life, you know, good and bad, especially the bad ones. I could have been bitter. I could have been angry. I could have been lying on my sofa with being very ill and depressed and whatnot, not being alive anymore, even, you know, whatever it is. And here I am. And I think that is my biggest key takeaway from my own course, because you guys gave me strength and you really showed me that you showed me what was there, but I couldn't see. So I'm very grateful for that. That was really amazing. You know, that, yeah, exchange. And don't forget, in that course, there was 100 people, around 83 at the time, each time, and so on, online, and then one-on-ones and on YouTube. And a lot of them I didn't know. So it was really strangers that were coming back to me with feedback, and also me telling stories to strangers, and they could have done anything with it, right? But they really took it on board as something constructive and positive for them, instead of attending the course and just kind of like using it as a media thing as people did in the past and writing bad about it. But they didn't. They really did it because they wanted to do it as their own person, for their own self-gain of well-being. And that was beautiful. That really reinstated some of the trust I lost when I got divorced into people. So that was beautiful.
Wow, that's so powerful. And I think, yeah, you not only realized it, but now we can see, or I can see, you really feel it. And that makes you really, so much more powerful, because you embody it in a way right now. And it's not because somebody is telling you, because you really feel it. And that's very powerful journey. And I'm, you know, for me also many things changed when I was in this program, and I really liked, as you said, you shared so many personal stories, and that helped all the participants also to open up as well, and that's why it was so special. So thank you so much for all your sharing and also your caring. It was really amazing.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for again for the time. You know, it's so precious. And I look back at these classes and it's just amazing, you know, because just looking at the videos of myself, I have changed so much. I have learned so much since then. And I look at myself and I'm like, she is beautiful, right? She's beautiful and she's trying so hard. And I recognize that now. And the relationship with myself has changed so much. It's very nice.
And you were brave enough and bold enough to just do it, right? Yeah, you just did it, and that made the change, and there was no perfectism, and because sometimes you always wait for this perfect moment, and I have to do this and to prepare that, but in a way it's just so important just to just do it, right? And then see what happens. And of course there were thousands of things you could have done before, but you know, you can do it in your second series because you just evolve. But all people can already use this knowledge, and they don't have to wait until you think it's perfect. And that's what I just what I changed for me, because I was like always tending to doing it until it's perfect. But now I'm just get it out, and then it can support other people and they can use it. And of course, next time I can make it better. Yeah,
there's a cartoon. It's called Encanto, sorry, which is a Disney cartoon, a favorite one of Theodore. And there as well, there's that beautiful, perfect girl, right? The flower girl. Her gift is flowers, no? And she sings them with her sister. And she said, well, I wanted to marry him for the family, right? For the good of the family. And she's like, wow, this is such a big statement. That is such a big weight you carry, right? And the moment she said that, instead of flowers, there was a cactus who popped up. And she was like, wow, I just made this. And then she said, what if I just create and let happen what needs to happen instead of trying to control everything? And it's such a beautiful message, because it's exactly that, right? Instead of just controlling the process, just let it happen. Just let it be and see. I think it's really great. Yeah.
Wow, that's a beautiful story.
It's
I
such a
will
beautiful
remember that.
Disney. And I watch it every day for 10 minutes. Theodore is allowed to watch it. And in the evening before he has dinner with me. And he loves it. And it's such a beautiful story of really, family unit, but also about being different, and some being more highlighted than others. But it's okay, because we all contribute to the well-being of everyone. It's just such a beautiful and powerful story. Where also it says, in the song, it says, well, sometimes I cry, the strongest one, right? Louisa says, I sometimes cry. And she comes out as that, because before she couldn't show emotion because she needs to be the strong one. And then the sisters say, well, so do I, right? And then they hug each other. And it's just like about being human, right? We all have, and that goes back to what I said at the beginning of the podcast, right? I do all of these things. I'm in TV, I'm in radio, podcast. I have working on my books. I have my companies and whatnot, right? But behind all of that, there's a human being, right? With emotions, with weaknesses and strengths and problems, right? And people, just because my problems are not yours, it doesn't mean that my problems don't mean anything to me and don't affect me, right? And that's also important, that we stop comparing ourselves and the challenges that are being thrown at us with others, where we say, well, that person has it worse than me. Yes, might be in that perspective, but that doesn't mean that your problem is not without value, it affects you, and as such, you need to deal with it as a human being, right? And I think that is so important as well, that we stop comparing each other's problems with one another and just help each other overcome whatever problem it is, and support one another to, just all be balanced and grounded and happy.
I think this is just amazing what you're saying, because that's what you really live. You walk as you talk, and I see that you really always try to support and be there for other people. And thank you so much for all of this, Tessy, really.
Anytime. You can always call me. I'm always just away, right? It's important. It's important to be there when it matters. Some friends say, well, I haven't seen you for so long, but here I am and this happened. And I call them and they're like, why are you calling me? And I'm like, you needed me. And they're like, huh? They're like, well, we haven't seen each other for years. I said, I don't care. I said, you need me now, right? And I think that is what is important, that when it matters, I'm there. I might be busy, but we're all busy. And busy is the new stupid, isn't it? Because people always say, I'm so busy here, I'm so busy here and there. We can all be busy. My husband, actually, that's his wording. He's like, busy is the new stupid. Because people think they need to say that in order to show worth, right? And it's wrong. And as such, you're never too busy for what is important, and whatever that is for you, right? And as such, I do try to be there as much as I can, as I would like people to be for me as well if I needed it, So you get what you give.
Yes, I hope I can give you back a lot. Yes.
You do. You're amazing. And I love your energy hacks on Instagram, your short videos. I just love your energy, and you're just jumping around in your videos, and you're so strong, you're so capable, but you also you make yourself so vulnerable, right? Because you're just you what you see is what you get. And I always admire that about you. You're so smart. People kind of make the mistake sometimes, and I'm sure it's true what I'm saying, and if it's not, you tell me, to underestimate you, because you're so sweet and so fun and so bubbly and so intelligent, so that they're like, oh, she's cute. But they don't take the time to open the book and read it, right? And then there is you, we had conversations, right? When we meet for dinners and whatnot, where I'm like, in my head, I'm like, wow, each time, like a diamond as well, I see these new facets of you and I'm like, wow, I did not expect that. She's so amazing, right? I knew you're amazing, but there's always something new coming out. And I think that is really amazing about you. And I really like that about you, because you don't take yourself too serious, but you're so intelligent and you can do so much. And I think to have that combination is so special, and a lot of companies would be happy to have you, because in companies people take themselves so serious on my job title and blah blah blah, right? I am so important because my job title is CFO or CEO or whatever, but actually they're missing the point, right? Henry Ford, he went to dinner, so from Ford Motors, there's a famous story with two candidates. They had the same degree, they had the same GPA, they had the same gender, the same age, right? After dinner he said, you got the job, thank you very much. And to the other one, I'm sorry, I will not proceed any further. Thank you for coming and having this wonderful dinner with me, right? And then the guy who didn't get it, he said, Mr. Ford, can I ask you a question? He's like, sure. He's like, well, we didn't talk about engineering at all over dinner. Mr. Ford said, yes, that's true. I tell you, two things. What made you not stand out is that you have the same GPA, the same degree, the same age, the same gender, right? It was like the same, two same people. But he said, you put salt on your steak before trying it. The other one tried the steak before putting salt on. I like people to try first before they fix things, right? To try to kind of like, give it the benefit of the doubt. And then he said, and you didn't treat the staff as you treated me. The other person treated everyone equally, with bubbly and fun, very intelligent. You're both very intelligent, but he showed a side, that is someone I want to work with, right? That is someone I want to spend time with, because his energy, there comes the energy again, was contagious, right? And I think this is really, at the end of the day, what makes you so special, right? Because
Wow.
it's just, you're like a Pandora's box with so much, and it's just such a pleasure to have you around, because you're a woman that really uplifts people. You're very generous, you're very kind, but you're also extremely smart and extremely capable, and that makes you really a one-stop shopper. And I'm very happy to know you, Cornelia.
Wow. Now I really feel very humble, and I have to admit, it's exactly as you said. People really think, she's cute. And especially in the corporate world, it's exactly like this. And I think, I'm not taken serious because I'm too friendly. That's what I've heard a couple of times. And
they say if you're too kind, people lose respect. It's a hard one for me as well, because I'm also very nice and I'm very bubbly and, I'm very kind. And sometimes I'm like, am I too nice for people to think they can just treat me like idiots, right? And my husband is like, no, just be you, because then it's not meant to be. Because people who are so close-minded and, they will not change, even if you change. And if you change, you lose what makes you special, and the company will appreciate you for everything that you are, will have the jackpot, right? And then the others look back and like, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't see that. No, you didn't, because you were not looking, right?
Yeah.
You were focused on what is irrelevant, which is things on paper, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, it's all about energy and connection and how you behave and treat people around you.
That's so true. And I think it's always important to maybe, always have a second look and also feel the person, right? The energy, because there you get all the information you need. Yeah.
Often it's, some energies can be misleading as well. And I had it in the past where I met someone, I was like, oh, okay, she or he is a bit odd or off or something. But then I thought, maybe I'm also a bit tired today, right? So was I not open enough to feel the energy as it is, right? And so also to kind of like check in with yourself as well. How do you feel when you meet people yourself? You know, because that makes a huge difference. You know, are you in the mood of meeting people? Are you open yourself? Because if not, then the energy of the other person can be as bubbly as it gets, or as interesting and attractive and whatnot. But if you're not open to receive, the energy will never match anyways, right? Even your smell changes depending on the way you feel, right? And you know, it's all connected. So yeah, to check
That's so
that
true,
balance,
yeah.
not just with the person, but also with yourself at all times.
Yeah, because your own energy is also your business card, right? And as you said, it's not the one business card. It changes also the way you feel and the way what happened to you during your day.
Well, it's as they say, right? What is the saying in English now? I don't know how you say it, but it's kind of like, oh, I couldn't smell him, you know? It was just, you know, it's really that, right? It's yeah, it's all connected.
Yes, we just need to listen, feel, and pay attention to it.
Yeah.
So Tessy, thank you so much for this uplifting, energetic exchange. And we all felt your energy now. And just one question I always ask at the end of the podcast, and this is, what gives you energy? If you really kind of need energy, what are you doing?
Sports. I love sports. I have one thing called booster. And yes, I could say my children and my husband and everything, which is self-explanatory, of course, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if I look really deep in, I feel like $1 million when I did sports. I feel sexy. I feel ready. Yes, I feel tired, but I feel calm, which helps me to kind of like reset what I need to do. And sex, Cornelia, I'm very honest with you. Sex, orgasms give me a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I need them all the time. To be very honest with you, I need them all the time, because it's like kind of like, it explodes when you have an orgasm, your brain explodes, right? And it's such a reset. When I'm overthinking, when I'm angry, or when I'm not in a good mood, my husband is like, come on, you know, and I'm like, no, I don't want to. And he's like, come on, you know, and we play around, and we have an amazing time together. We connect. And then I'm like, oh, this was so good. I feel so great now. So yeah, sports and intimacy give me energy, because it kind of like it resets my brain, and I'm able to focus again on everything else that needs to be done and everyone else that needs to be taken care of. So yeah, it's kind of like it's like my spa. These two things.
That's really powerful, and it's exactly like being in the moment. Because I took classes with a really yoga guru, and he said, the only reason of yoga in a way is to stop your mind, to stop thinking, to be really in that moment. And you can do it with meditating, but exercise always shifts your energy, and really kind of, you must be in that moment. And I think that's what's so releasing probably for us.
Absolutely. You know, when you are intimate as a woman, it's really difficult, you know, to sometimes, and I'm very candid about it, but it's so important to talk about it. And people are always so frowned if they talk about these things, but I think it is what makes us human as well. It's such an important part of our lives, right? If you're not a priest. But the thing is, you know, it really, as a woman, you need to really connect to your body in order to be able to come, right? You cannot just think about 10 million other things. It just doesn't work, right? I don't know about you. Maybe it is just me, but it's a fact, right? And as such, yes, I take it as a meditation. It's really, you know, it's very powerful. So all of these things, meditating, sports, intimacy, they all really connected, because you really need to connect to your body for these things, right? And it does that energy release of all kinds, and that exchange of all kinds. And you create happy hormones after all of that. each time, and that is what it is about. So yeah, that gives me energy among all of the other beautiful things in my life, my children and my work and my friends and the vitamin W and so on. So yeah, there you go.
Thank you for sharing, Tessy. And yeah, I think it was kind of, I feel a lot of energy just by talking to you. I don't know, but I still need to do my exercise today. But, that really pushed my energy. And thank you so much for sharing, for being on the Energy On show, Tessy. And yeah, energy on, and talk to you soon.